most people within this bull cycle, guys, will get tricked and fooled into possibly selling super early. In today's video, it's all about maybe a prolonged cycle, perhaps. Now, this chart suggests it all, guys. Bull market will extend to 2026, lock in. Supposedly, this chart was created in the year 1875, guys. Okay, 150 years old chart. And it has gotten things correct, right? But the next top, it says, is 2026, which years of good times, high prices, and the time to sell stocks and values of all kinds. This is why it's weird, because I, for one, believe in the Riddlers, guys. I don't know if you guys do, but a Riddler in the community did say as well to hold until this year. A lot of people are either going to sell in Q1, right, or even Q4. But what if we go longer until sometime in the year 2026, right? This is why we shouldn't time the markets, guys, and just ride the waves, right? Even though there are people talking about how a recession is right around the corner, if there is, supposedly, guys, if something like that happens, they're obviously going to bring everything back up in an instant, same as a 2020 repeat, right? And not to mention, Raoul Powell believes most crypto investors still have PTSD from the 2021 bull run and will sell far too early in 2025. He confirmed our idea. Wouldn't it make perfect sense to trick everyone, right? To make everything flipped on its head, guys, and make things run for longer, right? For higher. Interesting. Let's listen to this.
Who were in last cycle. Ask most people who were in last cycle, and that was their first cycle, they have tremendous PTSD. Because they looked back on the 2017 cycle, and 2017, the market peaked in March before tax season. It then corrected, so it peaked at 2000. It then kind of corrected, and then it went up. It went up 10x in 4 months.
You had the China correction in between as well.
And so last time, I also thought, okay, we saw the tax season correction, then the rally back up. It was a big correction, down 50.
Mm-hmm.
Then it shot up, and it's like, okay, it's going to be 2017 again. And it wasn't, because the central banks were starting to withdraw liquidity, and the business cycle had been brought forward by the massive liquidity was starting to come away, and that was the end of that. So this time, when you go on X and you see people, they are so PTSD'd by that I think that many will sell tax season March and then get trapped out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll expect an early peak, and maybe it does peak. From my liquidity work, it still suggests that it peaks at the end of the year, towards the end of the year. But it depends what happens to liquidity. But if that is the case, I just think the risks are here. And then the risk is 2026 is the people who then sold out, maybe they screwed it up, and maybe they got out like I did in 2017 way too early. You then try and buy it back, and you end up buying back at much higher prices, which is what happened to me. I ended up buying back in COVID in that crash, and I got in at 6,500, but I'd sold out at 2,000.
Wow, that's interesting. We said the same exact thing, guys, with XRP. I said it, don't do anything at the dollar range. Did I not? Some people probably sold, and I said, don't do anything, because what if it keeps climbing higher, right? Usually the market, guys, does the opposite of what people believe and think will happen to the market, right? Does the opposite of the consensus. So I have been hearing a lot of people are going to sell Q1 2025, right, in the year 2025. I have not heard one person say 2026, except the Riddlers and we, right? So very fascinating indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done the job. I sold out into strength and bought into weakness. Difference was, in a secular exponential uptrend, the difference between that peak and that trough was like this.
So yeah, guys, I think we will know, because I literally tweeted out, guys, what I believe will happen. Okay, I believe XRP will go on a rally, right? For whenever, if a recession happens, we're still going to be in double digits. This theory gets solidified if the USDT chart dominance right here of USDT goes down to like 3%, and the VIX goes down to like $10 as well. Right, that's how I think we will know if a black swan is right around the corner. Until all that stuff happens, we remain bullish, or at least I do. And if a crash has happened, we even buy more, right? So no matter which path the market may take, we're going to always be on the right side of history. It's the funniest matter. But I for one believe this is the last bull cycle that is going to be quote unquote normal. Because I think after this cycle, guys, a new financial system is born with these cryptocurrencies, right? The utility tokens and coins. From subjective views, we are witnessing that crossing the chasm moment towards greater integration of digital assets into the mainstream financial ecosystem, right? So innovators was early, guys. Visionaries, where are we right now? Well, are we crossing it right now, right, to the early majority, or are we already here, guys? Right? Everyone has different opinions, but at some point, people will be too late, right? This is where a lot of the gains are made through the innovators, the early adopters, and possibly even the early majority, right? Before the new financial system is born, and then the gains probably get less, right? Because the risk is less. Why? Because it's already solidified. So this is why they reward you for getting in early, guys. But it is risky, right? No doubt about it. But not necessarily to me, guys, because I have the belief of we will enter a new financial system. From all the documents we have read, or I have read, guys, from the videos, different proof in the pudding we have seen, right? So Binance founder CZ says nations will print money to buy Bitcoin, creating their strategic Bitcoin reserves. We are going so much higher. Wow. So CZ, guys, the person who's an insider or used to be in the know, I don't know if he is anymore, is basically saying nations, like countries around the globe, will print their own currency, guys, out of existence in order to buy Bitcoin, right? So probably inflate their own currency and buy Bitcoin with it. Now, if that happens, other people are going to chase Bitcoin as well, right? Because there's going to be a domino effect. One currency dies, the other one thrives, right? Then, he says, the nations will be creating Bitcoin reserves, strategic Bitcoin reserves. If all these things happen, guys, you don't believe we're going to go for much longer and much higher than what people expect? The consensus right now is the bull market ends this year, and in Q1, or maybe even Q4 by the latest. What if we go longer? I literally haven't seen anybody expect that, except one person, and that's Big Short. And a chart from 150 years ago. So, Prince of Serbia says nation states are already adopting strategic Bitcoin reserve behind closed doors. It's happening. And this is how we're going to go to heights never seen before, guys. And we need Bitcoin to rise, right? When Bitcoin rises, XRP will go to hundreds of dollars if we see a million per Bitcoin, easily.
Bitcoin adoption comes in many forms, from just mining to store of value to medium exchange. I think the one people are really interested in would be the next El Salvador. El Salvador was an outlier. I think we may get a surprise this coming year, hopefully, but we're going to see mining adoption is ever increasing. That is at a nation state level, that's happening all the time. It's happening in secret, happening in open. And the next one that's people talking about right now is strategic reserves, so SOV, store of value. That is already happening behind closed doors, or it will start to happen in the open. When it starts to happen in the open, then that's when the whole game theoretic ripple effects of it will start to take off. But really, the one I'm more interested in is medium exchange.
Ripple effects. Interesting wording, right? It's like a domino that falls, because as soon as one country does it, guys, every other country basically is kind of forced to, or else they're going to get left behind. That's why Trump is literally the main puppet of this new financial system. Why? Because America is the heart of the current financial system, and it's going to be shilling the hell out of Bitcoin and cryptos, right? The ones that are made in America as well, like XRP, which will make price explode for the whole crypto industry. I'm ready for this year, most definitely. It's going to be a significant one at that.
exchange. Really, that's what the white paper said. You know, it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That's what we're here for. But you know, we've got to understand that it works more as a store of value today than it does as a medium exchange. Thanks to layer 2 solutions like Liquid and Lightning, that we're able to transact cheaper fees when the fees high fee environments, or just much faster transactions, and stick to the core thesis of what is Bitcoin. Over time, we'll have better technology that will allow us to transact faster, but always remain true to what is Bitcoin. And Bitcoin main chain is that it's security. It's 15, 16 years of unadulterated truth.
Right.
It is a pillar of truth, that the longest piece of truth we've ever had in humanity, and it's only growing. And that's why the world is waking up to it, and that's why the world is starting to unfold, and the cracks and all the bullshit that's happening on the planet will all start to unravel thanks to Bitcoin.
I mean,
Wait, look at that, guys. Right. This is the new financial system brewing. Literally right now. Strive Asset Management, co-founded by Vivek Ramaswamy, files to launch a Bitcoin bond ETF. Right? It's literally non-stop, guys. It's literally non-stop. My only question is, I guess it doesn't matter if we already know the year of the collapse, which is, I think, is 2026. So I guess the price of where these digital assets, cryptocurrencies will head to wouldn't really matter, because we would just have to sell in the year 2026, right? No matter what price Bitcoin will be at, and other things like that, guys. Now, oh my lord, it's going to be phenomenal. If Bitcoin rally goes until 2026, guys, look, the 2025 people will sell here, 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 here. 2026 arrives, and they're like, wait, Bitcoin is still going higher and higher. How is this possible? Then they actually buy, and imagine it comes all the way back down, guys. Right? That's insanity, literally. If you think these people are not so bullish, I'm gonna cry. Sailor says he will burn his Bitcoin keys after he passes so that no one can ever sell his Bitcoin. What is this? I've never heard such a thing, guys. Right? The man is so bullish that he's going to hold it in the afterlife too.
What I would say about Bitcoin, which is just wonderful, is if you accumulate a lot of wealth in Bitcoin and you just burn the keys when you leave, you're making a pro rata contribution to everybody that owns Bitcoin in the world based upon their contribution and their knowledge of Bitcoin. So I think that supporting Bitcoin as a protocol for prosperity is just a great thing to do. And otherwise, I think, you know, take the Bitcoin with you.
Yeah. Will you be known more for the economic success or the humanitarian success?
I hope I'm known for having taken the torch from Satoshi and went on to commercialize Bitcoin with corporations and governments decades after he passed.
All right. Let's remember what happened to Prometheus. Let's hope that doesn't happen to you as you try to pass the torch on. Michael, great stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Great
Charles.
stuff.
What I would say about Bitcoin.
I don't know, guys, but it seems like we're about to go on a demonic rally. I hope everyone's prepared. I am as well, guys. And let us see what happens. Let's see what happens this year, right? And in the year 2026. I think the world will just get more magical as we keep living. Not financial advice. But it was as always, amazing. See ya.